One of the coolest things that was shown off in the Pokemon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass reveal trailer were the Galarian Legendary Birds. Now granted, we don't even technically know for sure if they are Galarian Legendary Birds, as nothing about them was shown off or specified aside from their designs, but nevertheless, they sent the Pokemon community into an absolute pandemonium upon their official reveal, and many people think that they actually look better than the original Legendary Birds. Well, what if I told you that these Galarian Legendary Birds were in fact the originals, and the ones that we know of from Generation 1 are in fact the variants instead? That is the theory that I am going to be exploring in today's video, and it's a little bit more convincing than you might think. Okay, so to start off, even though we don't know a whole lot about these Galarian Legendaries, there are still certain things that we can point to suggest that this might actually be the case. The first thing is the fact that it's even possible in the first place. You might think that because this is being introduced as the regional variant, that there's no way that it could be the original, since that's kind of counterintuitive. However, we have actually seen on multiple occasions at this point where the regional variant form of a Pokemon is in fact the original version of the species. Pokemon like Alolan Exeggutor and Galarian Zigzagoon, for instance, have both essentially been confirmed as being the original version of each of their Pokemon, as opposed to the originals that were introduced in Generations 1 and 3 respectively. So this definitely can happen because it's a precedent that's already been set with prior Pokemon. Once again, though, there aren't really any details that we have right now about the Galarian Legendaries like we do those other Pokemon that suggest that this is indeed the case, so we are going to have to look elsewhere at this time if we want to make this claim. And to me, the biggest thing at this point that does in fact suggest that this could be a legitimate possibility is the Kanto region itself, where we know the Legendary Birds to be supposedly originally from. While many people look at the Kanto region as pretty vanilla, as it is the very first generation within Pokemon's history, it actually does have somewhat of a theme going for it, and that theme would be the theme of technology. If you look closely enough, you will see that this is actually the case all throughout the region, as not only was the Pokédex invented here, but the Master Ball was invented here as well, thanks to the presence of various high-tech corporations like Silphco, among others. And another thing that really points to Kanto's technological focus are the presence of multiple man-made Pokemon, as not only was Porygon made by man here, but of course, Mewtwo was also created here as well. So Kanto definitely opts for the more technology side of things a lot more than a lot of the other regions do, and this is actually in stark contrast to many of the other regions whose focus for the most part seems to be on various myths and legends that occur within their regions and are focused on their various legendary Pokemon. This could be one contributing factor as to why Kanto has so few legendary Pokemon, but if you actually look even just a little bit closer, you'll actually see that they have even fewer legendaries than you might have actually thought. This is because if we go back to Mewtwo, for instance, Mewtwo is an artificial Pokemon, so it's not a legendary that organically and naturally lived in Kanto. And then if you look at Mew, for instance, according to the Pokédex itself, Mew is actually a Pokemon from South America, so it is not even native to the Kanto region either. So you can strike both of these legendary Pokemon from actually being from Kanto in the first place, and that leaves us with only 3 legendary Pokemon after those exclusions, and of course those would be the legendary birds. And naturally that begs the question, with those other 2 Pokemon out of consideration, could we really reasonably believe that the only legendary Pokemon in Kanto are the legendary birds, who aren't even the primary legendaries of their region? With the introduction of the Galarian Legendary Birds, it is definitely enough, at least for me, to really question whether or not this could truly be the case. And if we go back to one more thing, that being Kanto's technological focus, I think it'll show that this is definitely a very real possibility that the Legendary Birds of Kanto could actually be the variants. And that would be the idea that if we were to assume that the Kanto Legendary Birds are the variants and remove them, hypothetically speaking, from Kanto's legendary lineup, that leaves us with only one Pokemon who can truly say that their origins lie in Kanto. And that would of course be Mewtwo, even if it is man-made. And with it, under this scenario, not only being the only Kanto legendary Pokemon, but a man-made Pokemon at that, that really would just go to emphasize Kanto's focus on technology and really just bring it full circle in terms of the theme of that region, which would work perfectly in terms of what it's trying to go for and would make those themes and those ideas just that much stronger. And meanwhile, if we take a look at the Galarian Legendary Birds, even though we really don't have a whole lot of details on them that we can speculate and solidify their place as the original forms of these Pokemon, we do know at the very least that they have something that ties them to the Galar region, that being that giant tree that supposedly looks out of place. So we know that they have a reason for being there. We can definitely say that there could be justification that the Kanto Legendary Birds don't have a reason to be in Kanto due to the technology over Legends focus of the Kanto region, and so all of these things really just come together to paint this picture that it could be very possible that we're looking at the original form of the birds as opposed to the ones we thought were the originals in the Kanto form. Now, mostly this theory is just for fun because of course we still have much to learn about the Galarian Legendary Birds, and anything we might learn could debunk this, and we don't even know if their origins in terms of which region they come from is even going to be specified at all. But nevertheless, it is a really interesting possibility, and honestly, I just think it makes each region that much more interesting because with it, you have more of a focus on the technological theme for Kanto, so it can have more of a true identity than it does now, and then you have an interesting relationship between Galar and Kanto as well in the lore that this unique scenario would provide. And if this were the case, it would also be very interesting to learn why the legendary birds migrated to Kanto, but obviously, we're just gonna have to wait and see if any of this is possible at all, but at the very least, it is a very, very interesting idea. Well, there you have it everybody, that is my theory on the Galarian Legendary Birds possibly originally being from the Galar region. If you guys enjoyed the theory, be sure to give the video a like and let me know down in the comments below your thoughts and any other ideas you might have as well. If you guys are new to the channel as well and you like what you see, be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content all the time, and if you would like to further support the channel, you can do so by checking out my Spotify and my Pokemon remixes, as well as my Pokemon Cardinal project. Both of those are massively appreciated and help me greatly in making videos just like this. With all that being said though, I will be back on Thursday with another video, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you can know as soon as it goes live, and with all that being said, I love you guys very much, and until the next one, as always, I will smell you guys later.